The man had just aimed his rifle at a wild deer when, in the very next second, a lion lunged out of nowhere and snatched the prey. Instinctively, he raised the gun again, ready to take the lion as well. But before he could fire, several roars echoed across the plain. A male lion appeared, cubs trailing behind him, all waiting for the lioness to bring back food to keep them alive. In a world where humanity was on the brink of extinction, this rare display of family bonds left the man conflicted. At that moment, Alan's alarm clock went off. He glanced at the sun as if sensing an imminent threat, then quickly called his dog and retreated. Back at his shelter, he doused the air with an entire barrel of alcohol to mask his scent before he could finally breathe easy. But nightfall always brought dread. Heavy locks and reinforced windows did little to calm his fear. When he heard the terrifying howls outside, Alan dared not make the slightest sound. 3 years earlier, scientists had claimed to have developed a cure for cancer. Over 10,000 people were injected with the experimental vaccine, but instead of salvation, they were infected with a virus. It spread at breakneck speed, wiping out 90% of the human race. Those who survived the infection were twisted into monstrous beings, creatures that feared only sunlight and roamed freely under the cover of darkness. Alan's wife and daughter had not survived. His only companion was his loyal dog, Sam. For survival, he trained rigorously, researched tirelessly, and experimented with lab mice, searching for a way to reverse the mutations. Most experiments failed, but the calm gaze of one surviving mouse gave him hope. Determined to push forward, Alan resolved to capture a live specimen. He set traps at a bridge and near the warehouse, using blood as bait to lure the creatures, then waited with his rifle ready. When one was caught, shrieking and thrashing in agony, Alan struck it down with his rifle butt, but another came charging out, defying the burning sun as it bared its teeth and roared. For a fleeting moment, in the creature's eyes, Alan thought he saw a trace of human emotion. In his laboratory, Alan restrained the creature on a gurney. Noticing a butterfly-shaped tattoo on her shoulder, he couldn't help but wonder who she had once been. But there was no time for reflection. He injected the serum he had prepared. At first, the creature grew calm, her heartbeat slowed, almost returning to that of a human. Just as Alan allowed himself a breath of relief, she convulsed violently in agony. Within moments, her body went limp, her heartbeat gone. Crushed with disappointment, Alan had no choice but to re-inject the virus, restoring her monstrous state. Failure after failure gnawed at him, making him restless. The next morning, Alan took Sam out as usual. Passing by a supermarket, he noticed something chilling. A store mannequin had been moved into the middle of the street. A terrifying thought struck him. If the creatures had repositioned it, then perhaps they were evolving intelligence. He shouted at the mannequin, gun in hand, rage and fear pouring out. Gathering his courage, he stepped closer. But the instant his foot hit a puddle, a trap was triggered. He was hoisted violently into the air, his head slamming hard against the ground. Dazed and bleeding, Alan began to lose consciousness as Sam barked frantically. He awoke only when his alarm went off again. Seeing the sun already sinking, Alan pulled out the knife he always carried and hacked desperately at the rope until it gave way. He crashed to the ground, a shard of metal driving straight through his thigh. Ignoring the agony, he dragged himself forward. The light was fading fast. He had to escape with Sam before nightfall. Step by step, he struggled toward the car. Just as he was about to reach safety, the creatures unleashed a pack of vicious dogs.